Welcome to the wildest showdown. You didn't know you needed gray wolf versus tiger. Who you got? Picture this. On one side, you've got a sleek, muscle-bound feline with the stealth of a ninja and the punch of a sledgehammer. On the other, a strategic, sharp-eyed canine who never fights alone and always plays the long game. It's like putting a heavyweight boxer in the ring with a special forces squad, both lethal, but in totally different ways. As someone who's spent years watching these animals in their natural element, I can tell you this: the outcome of this face-off depends on way more than just muscle. It's about how they hunt, how they think, and how the environment plays referee. So grab your favorite snack, maybe a cozy blanket or body armor if you're feeling dramatic, and let's dive into this epic tale of claw versus fang, strength versus strategy, and solo killer versus pack hunter. Trust me, you don't want to miss this wild ride. 1. Size and strength, the lone king versus the pack warrior. Alright folks, let's kick things off with the tail of the tape. If we're talking pure size and brute force, the tiger walks into the arena like a furry tank with stripes. Especially the Siberian tiger, which is basically the linebacker of the animal kingdom. This beast can weigh up to 660 pounds and stretch over 10 feet long from nose to tail. That's heavier than an NFL lineman and longer than most couches in American living rooms. Tigers aren't just big, they're built like bodybuilders, all muscle and menace. If nature had a muscle car, it would growl like a tiger. Now on the other side, we've got the gray wolf. Sure, it's not tipping the scales like the tiger, usually around 100 pounds and about 3 feet tall at the shoulder, but don't let that fool you. A lone wolf is no slouch, but wolves don't shine solo. They're the Navy SEALs of the wilderness, operating in coordinated units with one goal in mind. Teamwork makes the kill work. I've seen a pack of wolves take down a full-grown bison like it was a buffet special. It's less about the one-punch knockout and more about wearing the opponent down, bit by calculated bit. So, who wins the size and strength category? In a one-on-one, let's be real, the tiger's got the edge. It's like putting a heavyweight boxer in the ring with a middleweight. But throw 5 or 6 wolves into the mix and suddenly the whole vibe changes. You're no longer looking at a solo match. You're looking at a tactical takedown with choreography that would make a SWAT team jealous. My take: if it's a bar fight in the jungle, I'm putting money on the tiger. But if it turns into a street brawl with the wolf pack calling in backup, the tides could turn faster than you can say alpha male. 2. Speed and agility, sprinter versus marathoner. Now let's talk about legs and lungs, the need for speed, and the kind of agility that could make an Olympic coach take notes. When it comes to movement, the tiger is all about the big bang. Think of it like a rocket, fast, fierce, and over before you know what hit you. A tiger can hit speeds up to 40 miles per hour, but only for short bursts. That's about the same speed as your average car in a school zone, except this car has claws. And those legs, they're not just for running. Tigers can leap up to 30 feet in a single bound. Imagine trying to jump across your entire living room, now triple it. That's what we're dealing with. The gray wolf, on the other hand, is built for the long haul. This is the animal kingdom's version of a marathon runner. Wolves won't beat the tiger off the starting line, but they'll keep going while the tiger's catching its breath. I've tracked wolves across snowy trails for miles and they barely seemed winded. They've got the stamina of a cross-country athlete and the coordination of a relay team. When one slows down, another takes the lead. It's endurance, strategy, and rhythm all rolled into one fluffy powerhouse. So who takes the gold? If this were a 100-meter dash, the tiger wins by a whisker. But in a triathlon, the wolf's coming home with the medal. Personally, I'm impressed by both. The tiger's burst is like watching a drag race, short and explosive. The wolf's chase is like a scenic route that turns into a takedown. Both amazing, but very different beasts on the move. 3. Weapons and attack style, claws, chaos, and clever combat. Alright, let's talk battle gear. Nature doesn't hand out swords or shields, but it does equip its predators with some seriously impressive built-in hardware. And when it comes to killing tools, the tiger walks into the ring like a heavyweight boxer with razor blades for gloves. Picture this: 3-inch claws, curved like meat hooks, and a bite that can crush with 1,050 pounds of pressure per square inch. That's like having a set of bolt cutters strapped to your jaws. Tigers are the ultimate solo assassins. They don't make a lot of noise, no trash talk, no warm-up dance. Just a stalk, a pounce, and a bone-cracking bite right to the neck, one well-placed chomp, and lights out. Think of them as the ninjas of the jungle, only way more jacked. Now, enter the gray wolf. Sure, their bite isn't as bone-snapping as a tiger's, topping out between 400 to 600 psi, but don't let that fool you. Wolves are strategic bruisers. One-on-one, they might not match a tiger's firepower, but they don't fight fair. They bring the whole crew. A wolf pack is like a tactical SWAT team. They surround their prey, harass it from all sides, target weak spots, and wear it down until there's nothing left but exhaustion and an opening. It's organized chaos, and it works. Think of it like this: the tiger is a silent sniper, precise and lethal. The wolves, they're the riot squad, loud, coordinated, and relentless. It's finesse versus formation, raw muscle versus calculated mayhem. Verdict? In a cage match of one-on-one brute force, the tiger has the edge, no question. But if you're facing 5 wolves in the middle of nowhere, you might want to start saying your goodbyes. Me, I admire the tiger's power, but I can't help but respect the wolf's hustle. 4. Intelligence and strategy, brain versus brawn, or just 2 kinds of genius. Now we're getting to the fun part. Who says you need opposable thumbs to be a tactician? When it comes to smarts, both the gray wolf and the tiger have their own version of a PhD in survival. They've just majored in completely different subjects. Let's start with the wolf. These guys are the extroverts of the predator world. Wolves live in tight-knit packs that operate like a well-trained military unit. They communicate using a complex system of howls, whines, growls, and even body language. It's like a wolf version of Morse code. They don't just hunt, they orchestrate hunts. Imagine a group of linebackers flanking a herd of elk while one sneaks around the back to cut off the escape. That's next-level playbook strategy. No lone heroes here, just brilliant team execution. Now switch gears to the tiger, the lone wolf of the jungle, except way bigger and more orange. Tigers don't do teams. They're solo specialists who rely on stealth, patience, and perfect timing. If wolves are generals planning coordinated attacks, tigers are ninjas lurking in the shadows, studying every move before striking with ruthless precision. I once watched a tiger stalk its prey for 30 minutes, staying perfectly still in the tall grass until the moment was just right, and then boom, over in seconds. It's like they're hardwired for ambush perfection. So what's the verdict? Well, it's kind of like comparing a chess team to a solo poker champ. Wolves are all about teamwork and tactical group maneuvers, while tigers are the silent assassins who win by outsmarting their prey one-on-one. Both are brilliant in their own lanes. If I had to pick who's smarter, I'd say it depends on the battlefield. Need a strategist to run a group mission? Call the wolves. Need a silent shadow to take out a target alone? Send in the tiger. Either way, you're looking at some of the sharpest minds in the animal kingdom, just wearing very different fur. 5. Environment matters. Where you hunt is just as important as how you hunt. Alright, let's talk turf, because even the toughest predator can look like a rookie if it's dropped into the wrong neighborhood. You wouldn't wear flip-flops to a snowball fight, and you sure wouldn't drop a jungle cat into the frozen tundra and expect it to thrive. Let's start with the gray wolf. These guys are winter warriors. Born and bred for the chill, they've got thick double-layered coats, snow-gripping paws, and a love for wide-open spaces. The Arctic tundra, snow-covered forests, and alpine meadows, that's their home turf. It's like they were built in a lab by Mother Nature for cold weather operations. I once watched a pack trot across a frozen lake in -20 degrees like it was a casual Sunday stroll, no stress, no shivers. Now picture a tiger, the king of the jungle, or more accurately, the emperor of dense forests and sweltering swamps. Whether it's the humid jungles of Southeast Asia or the frozen birch forests of Russia's Far East, tigers thrive in terrain where they can sneak, stalk, and strike from the shadows. Tall grass, thick underbrush, murky water, that's where tigers shine. If a tiger were in a video game, it'd be the stealth class with maxed out camouflage. I've seen footage of a tiger disappearing into waist-high grass like a magician's trick, only to reappear seconds later mid-pounce. It's nature's version of a jump scare, so what happens if you swap their habitats? A wolf in the jungle would be about as comfortable as a snowboarder at the beach. Too hot, too many trees, not enough room to maneuver. A tiger in the Arctic, game over. That short for and stealthy strategy don't mean much when the snow's up to your chest and every move makes a crunch. Verdict: home field advantage is real. In the north, wolves are the undisputed champs, patrolling the snowy landscape like furry stormtroopers. But drop into the misty forests of the south, and suddenly, the tiger is the apex predator, stalking silently through the shadows like a ghost with claws. So if you're keeping score, don't just look at claws and muscle, location can be the ultimate game changer. It's like asking who wins between Michael Jordan and Tom Brady. Well, what sport are we playing? Final verdict: the ultimate showdown of muscle versus mind. Alright folks, let's break it down. If you set up a straight one-on-one duel between a tiger and a lone gray wolf on completely neutral ground, no home field advantage, no extra help, the tiger wins nearly every time. It's like putting an NFL linebacker against a college quarterback in a wrestling match. The tiger is just too massive, too powerful, and frankly, too deadly. It's a walking force of nature with a personal gym worth of muscle and a jaw that could crush a bowling ball. But here's the twist: nature doesn't always play fair or solo. Throw in a wolf pack, say 5 or 6 battle-tested, highly coordinated team players, and now we've got a whole different ball game. These guys work like clockwork, flanking, feinting, and wearing down prey with sheer endurance and teamwork. It's not about brute force anymore, it's about strategy, stamina, and cooperation. Think Avengers versus the Hulk, one-on-one, the big guy smashes. As a team, they've got options. So who wins? Honestly, it depends on the setting and the rules of engagement. In the jungle or forest, where stealth and solo power rule, I'm putting my money on the tiger. In open terrain with a full squad of wolves, don't be surprised if that big cat decides to walk away instead of taking on a furry SWAT team. At the end of the day, this showdown isn't just about fangs and claws. It's about brains versus brawn, pack mentality versus lone legend. Both animals are apex predators in their own right. One is the heavyweight champ of solitary power, the other is the undisputed master of team tactics. Which one do you root for? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more wild face-offs and expert takes from the animal kingdom. Are they dangerous to humans? The truth about fangs and fear. Now, let's talk about the million-dollar question. Should you be worried if you meet a tiger or a gray wolf face-to-face in the wild? Short answer, yes. Long answer, still yes, but with some important context. Tigers are apex predators. These majestic cats don't normally go around hunting people, but if they feel threatened, cornered, or are sick or starving, all baits are off. There have been cases, especially in parts of India and Southeast Asia, where tigers have become man-eaters, often due to injury or habitat loss forcing them closer to human settlements. A 600-pound cat with stealth mode and a jaw that can crush your skull is not something you want to run into while hiking. Gray wolves, on the other hand, get a bit of a bad rap from fairy tales and horror stories. In truth, wolf attacks on humans are extremely rare. Wolves are shy and usually steer clear of people. They're more likely to run away than charge in. That said, a wolf pack is still a group of wild carnivores with sharp teeth, and if they feel cornered or are rabid, they can pose a threat. Think of it like this: you wouldn't walk up to a Harley-Davidson revving in the middle of the road and try to pet it. Same logic applies to wild predators. Respect the power, admire the beauty, and give them space. Yes, they're dangerous, but not bloodthirsty monsters. They're wild animals doing what wild animals do. If you respect their boundaries, chances are you'll be just fine. Just don't try to take a selfie with one. Trust me, they're not into social media. Can they be pets? Spoiler alert, no, and here's why. Okay, let's be honest, we've all looked at a wolf or a tiger and thought, wow, imagine cuddling that majestic fluffball on the couch. But before you start Googling baby tiger for sale or naming your future pet wolf ghost, let me stop you right there. Tigers are not overgrown house cats. Sure, they look soft and photogenic when they're cubs, but they grow up fast, and when they do, you're suddenly sharing your home with 600 pounds of unpredictable muscle, claws, and teeth. Tigers don't purr when you scratch their ears. They stalk silently and pounce with Olympic precision. Even in captivity, they can become aggressive or frustrated, and they need massive amounts of space, stimulation, and raw meat, lots of it. Your HOA would not be thrilled. Wolves might look like oversized huskies, but the resemblance ends there. wolves are not domesticated dogs. They're shy, independent, and extremely territorial. Raising a wolf at home usually results in a very anxious, confused animal that doesn't understand the rules of human society or canine obedience school. Plus, wolf hybrids are illegal to own in many states, and for good reason. From an animal welfare perspective, neither of these species thrives in a domestic setting. They belong in the wild, not your backyard or, please no, your studio apartment. Admire them, study them, even donate to wildlife conservation groups that protect them, but trying to keep one as a pet. That's not love, that's a bad idea wrapped in fur. Stick with the golden retriever. Much safer, still cuddly, and they won't eat your couch or your neighbor. If you love this wild showdown, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an epic animal battle. Got a favorite predator or a crazy matchup you want us to break down next? Drop your ideas and thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. Join our wild community and let's keep the adventure roaring.